All right. First solo cross country, which just means a flight of more than 50 nautical miles from one airport to another. And in this case, it was 64 nautical miles. It was from Boeing Field in Seattle to Port Angeles, just to the northwest. And it was right at the tail end of September, the 22nd, which in the Seattle area, as you get closer to October, like that's when the days are really starting, like your days are numbered weather-wise. And it was just beautiful. Clear skies, great visibility. I'm probably going to say we're beautiful a bunch of times. But let's get into it. We took off and flew out to the northwest. So you kind of cross the sound right around Lincoln Park, so West Seattle, a little bit south of downtown, and it is one of my favorite departure procedures. You get to see the ferries, you get to see the islands, Blake Island, Vashon Island, Bainbridge Island. It's really pretty, especially on a sunny day. And then Elliott Bay's behind you. One of the best parts about training at Boeing Field, there are cons. You have to wait a lot. There's traffic, but definitely the best things. You are so close to Seattle, so you get these really beautiful approaches and takeoffs, departures. It's so nice. Northwest, super great. The route itself, really, really quiet, honestly. There was only one plane on the way there and one on the way back that like I had to consider for traffic avoidance. I had flight following the whole time. So had the traffic uh, advisory. I saw them. None of them were close. Like that was literally the only thing I could complain of. It was so quiet. It was beautiful, and it was my first cross country solo. But honestly, I didn't feel nervous at all. Like I have a couple more hours than most people would. I think I probably had 80 around this time. So it was just another day of flying, and there was nothing really to worry about. You could see everything, and there weren't really any planes. So it was just quiet. It was just me, and we eventually got up 6,500 feet. And once you kind of trim it out, like you're chilling. On the way to Port Angeles, you have Port Townsend, you have Squim, and there's just an easy, you know, 10, 15 minutes where there's just nothing to do. Like you're just going straight. There's no traffic. You just look to your right. Oh my God, the ocean. Oh my God, Canada's right there. Like it was so cool. On ForeFlight, you open it up and you see the border of Canada. Like you're so close. Like once I get my private pilot, I could just do a flight plan, radio operating license, and all this, and I could go to Canada, go international. And then you look to your left and you have the beautiful Olympic mountain range. And at 6,500, you're almost at the top. I believe the highest peak is 8,000 feet. So you're getting a great view of it. It's amazing. And there was no nervousness. It was just like, I'm really doing this on my own. Um, for me, cycling and flying, those are the two things that really remind me, or not remind me, but just make me feel like, yo, there's just grateful to be alive. Like that adventure it brings, the sense of gratitude, just being out in nature and seeing everything and being like, wow, this is really my life. And that happens too when I do solo flights, or sorry, dual flights. But it was only compounded flying solo from one place to another, that like, wow, I'm really doing this. This is really my life. So it just felt amazing, and I was just so blessed to be there. So the en route was amazing. When we got to Port Angeles, I say we, I mean me, got to Port Angeles. I came a little bit high on final, kind of cut the downwind a little short, so ended up high on base, high on final. But we landed. It was all good. Taxied off the runway. There was one other plane there. They took off after me, and then again, I was all on my own. I didn't really have time to stop. I kind of had booked a 2 hour time block, and it was about 40 minutes each way, so I really had to pedal to the metal. And so I just kind of taxied off the runway, took a breath, like, yo, I'm here. Text my instructor, I made it. Call my mom, like, yo, by the way, I'm in Port Angeles in record time. Usually that would be like a 2.5, 3 hour drive. I'm here in 30 minutes. So yeah, I told her like I'll be home soon, don't worry. And yeah, I went through my checklist and got back out there. En route back, it was also very chill. Um, One plane that at some point I had to just see and avoid, but it was super easy. Had flight phone the way back, and the way back we actually had a little bit of a different arrival. I was coming, instead of coming kind of from the northwest like I came in more from the north, and so I got to fly right over downtown Seattle. It was a Green Lake arrival, So you're flying over Green Lake and then kind of over Lake Union, I-5, just just a little bit east of downtown Seattle. But you are 100% over the city. And again, an amazing perk of training at Boeing. It is beautiful. You get to see the city from the sky. You see why it's the Emerald City. You see the trees. You see the parks. You see the downtown. It's not a big downtown, but it's kind of pretty in its own way. The Space Needle, and then kind of my favorite part of Seattle, honestly, is that so close to all the houses, so close to all the downtown. Right when you get a little bit south, you see the ports, the harbor, the airports, just that kind of the DNA of Seattle with the manufacturing in there. So just a beautiful, beautiful approach. And yeah, it was pretty simple. Landed tons of times at Boeing. So we landed, parked the plane, taxied off, parked the plane, and my instructor was actually waiting on the plane after me for another lesson. So just did a quick debrief, like, hey, everything was good. Overall, it was a super good flight. It was just amazing. Only thing I could critique was that I could have flown the pattern better, extended the downwind a little bit more, just gave myself more time on base, more time on final. But otherwise, it was an incredible flight. Everything was great, beautiful, stunning day. And my favorite photos, just kind of these ones I took of the low mist kind of around the Olympics. It was not cloudy at all, but there was just this little mist layer around the tip of the Olympics, which I just found so beautiful, and I just kept looking at it as I was around it. And then on the approach here of downtown Seattle, um, amazing views of downtown Seattle. Just such a blessing to just be able to fly. It's crazy that like the city I live, the big city, relatively for the U.S., like a relatively large city, that I could just fly over. We're at like 1,600 feet here, so it's a blessing. It was beautiful. Those are my favorite photos. It was a great flight, amazing time. First solo cross country. Yeah, peace.